Now, all of you know I only come on here because I don't give a shit. And, well, I'm going to talk to you about something that I don't give a shit about anymore. In fact, if there's one thing that I don't give a shit about at all, it's MTV and their fucking disaster of a VMAs show. Let me just piece in a little bit of my nostalgia about what MTV VMAs was to me. It was like a huge event, and I probably said this a zillion times before in previous videos if I've ever made one, but anyways, it was a huge event. Like, this was something that I made time for to watch, and why I watched it Thursday, I really have no fucking clue, but the only thing I can say about that little debacle is, what the fuck? Can you hear it outside? It's really windy. Anyways, let me just state one thing for the record. What the fuck was all that about? Okay, first of all, can I just cue in something that nobody really talked about, or at least that I've seen? Maybe I didn't watch enough VMA response videos, but what the hell is going on with Rihanna and Katy Perry? They were like talking shit the whole time through that whole VMA ceremony. And then of course when One Direction comes on stage, it was like, she whispered, I think, to Rihanna, I want him, like to one of the One Direction guys. And the only reason why One Direction is even there in the first place, or even fucking important to the world, is because of Katy Perry, okay? If you watch The X Factor, I believe that's where they were from, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. However, yeah. But all through the ceremony, she was talking shit to Rihanna. I think them two are carpet munchers, to be honest. I think they are just munching on each other's rugs and having a gay old time. But whatever, each to their own. The second thing, what the fuck was Khalifa? Okay, here's my little bit. Everybody's talking about this. Were you preparing for a flood? Because honestly, the way that your pants looked, how high they were and the ankles, yeah. And then of course, you know, there's always got to be a pregnancy announcement. So of course Wiz Khalifa has to be like, oh yeah, me and Amber Rose are pregnant. And then there's Amber sitting there holding her stomach and being like, yeah, I'm pregnant. You know, whatever, fuck you. You're just a statistic. It doesn't matter. Anyways, okay, something else that nobody else is really mentioning. Can I just point this out? What the fuck was Kesha on? Because she was flying when she was talking with Wiz Khalifa on that stage. She was just, oh my god. I've seen a bunch of high people in my life, but she was really fucking stoned, like to some extent. Seriously, it was just crazy. And that's all me and my friend could really focus on at that point, was how high Kesha really was. And then she's like doing some spiritual shit before like a commercial break or something. It was really stupid. She's just over and done with, and she just really needs to disappear because nobody really cares about her anymore, and her music just is completely god-awful. So what else can I say? Well, the performances were really fucking whack. There was nobody really important there besides like Twilight people, and whatever, you know, anybody still cared about Twilight, whatever. But yeah, Kristen Stewart wasn't there, which kind of shocked me, considering the fact that she and Robert Pattinson are not exactly liking each other at this point, which is going to be so much more awkward when the MTV Movie Awards roll around next year. So that's going to be pretty funny, because I'm pretty sure they'll win Best Kiss, because, I don't know, they're always kissing in those Twilight movies. Also, what else can I mention? Lil Wayne's performance, okay, sorry, it fucking blew. I don't even know what the fuck. Ugh. I have no words to describe. I mean, sure, nice stage dive, whatever. I've done millions of those in my past. But really, come on. He could barely rap and sing and do whatever the fuck he does. And Alicia Keys, I'm sorry, but her new single just fucking blows. I am not all on the girl on fire bandwagon. Like, yeah, of course, way to pay your respects to the gymnasts from the Olympics in London, you know, awesome, whatever. They get their cred and their 15 minutes of fame, but there was nobody there important, honestly. And the whole, like, Drake and Chris Brown thing, like, you could sense the tension in that room and all of Cash Money and all that shit. I mean, it was just lame. Like, they were all just pretty fucking stupid. And then, of course, you know, I actually, you know, I'm not a huge fan of One Direction at all, to say the least. But I thought, you know, their performance was really, it was okay. You know, you can tell that they are well liked. But like I said, they wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Katy Perry. And I know a lot of people kind of got pissed about their performance because of the fact that they didn't do any, like, choreography in their whole performance. But that's just the thing, is that they can't dance. So these white boys can't dance at all, okay? So they're a boy band that just does not dance. They're into their singing, and that's that. Lastly, I want to say that Taylor Swift just really needs to take out that soil tampon out of her cooch and insert a new one and write better music. Because I'm sorry, Never Getting Back Together is the worst fucking song I've ever heard in my life, other than Alicia Keys' new song. And that's just me being nice to Alicia Keys. But Taylor Swift, her horse face just needs to go away, needs to die or something. And I'm sorry if you are, anybody out there is a fan of Taylor Swift, but I can't stand her. I never liked her in the beginning, and I don't like her still. And she just really needs to go away. Okay? Rant over about Taylor Swift. Plus she's horse face, sorry. And her fucking cat eyes. I don't even know. Her cat face. That's all I can think about. And Kevin Hart, you know, I like him. I have no bad words to say about him, to say the least. But I'm a really, really tough customer when it comes to comedy. I don't like comedy, to say the very least. I am a horror type of person. I like horror movies. I just am not into the whole comedy thing. So, Kevin Hart, you know, he had his little quirks and everything, but he just really wasn't that funny. And whatever, you know, it's just, that's probably just me, because I'm really hard to impress when it comes to comedy. You have to be pretty damn good in order to impress my ass. So, whatever. But all in all, there was nobody good at the VMAs this year. It was split up between, basically the only people that seemed to matter was the whole Cash Money group, or Young Money, or whatever the fuck they're called, their little troupe, and Katy Perry and Rihanna. And maybe One Direction, just because, you know, they're cool. Yeah, whatever. They're cool with Katy Perry, and Katy Perry likes them, whatever. But everybody else was there, it was like, yeah. And Nicki Minaj, I'm so over her that it's not even funny. And her ass is so huge that I'm pretty sure I could lay on it. And it could be my bed. Because that's how frickin' big it is. But overall, next year, I don't think I will be watching the MTV Video Music Awards. I think this really set me in to realize that I'm not missing out on a goddamn thing. So, you know, to whoever watches it next year, I'm sorry. I would have rather watched the Democratic National Convention. And I watched that, like, the day before, the night before, whenever that was on. But anyways, there was another one on, too, that night. But I would have much rather watched that and realize, you know, that our world is going to shit, and that, well, it already is, but it's going to be worse, and that it's nothing more than a minority vote. So whatever. But I would have much rather watched that than I would have with the fucking MTV Video Music Awards. But anyways, all in all, yeah, pretty fucking lame. It has no flair like it had in the past. It'll never be the same because music has gone to shit. Basically, my thoughts on that is that anybody can make a fucking single and a hit record or whatever, because all you really need is a fucking computer and some auto-tunes, Pro Tools, Melodyne, whatever. Speaking music codes here, but MTV just fucking blows. It's all reality. Nobody really gives a shit about music anymore. And you know what? Fuck that. So, rant over.